And what makes up development is primarily deployment of infrastructure. And when infrastructure is lacking, there's no nation or no developing nation. So you can't deploy infrastructure like roads, aviation, airports, communication, broadcasting stations, and even security, name it, without an engineer. He engineers it, he deploys it. Simply what I'm saying is that you can't enjoy comfort in any nation, in any society without an engineer.
Okay, you can enjoy any comfort without the inputs of an engineer. So you can call 0803 for your suggestions, your questions. Our guest engineer Felix Adegboye is in the studios. And like we always do on Engineering and You, we have the question for the day for all our esteemed listeners, especially it's meant for the secondary school students as well as prospective admission seekers, just for you to warm up yourself and you to know what you have upstairs. The question for the day is, which of the human systems is known as the cardiovascular system? Which of the human body systems is known as the cardiovascular system? You can call 0803 and parents listening to us right now, you can equally encourage your children, those little ones around you, to listen to 9.5 FM on Engineering and You, especially those children you've seen around you trying to work on one thing or the other that relates to maybe science or engineering. You can equally encourage them to be part of the program. 0803 We still have Engineer Felix Adegboye in the studios. Our relevance is your master's in business administration to the practice of engineer.
Uh, I decided to do that because I'm in engineering practice to also be an entrepreneur, and you cannot be an effective entrepreneur without going through necessary training, and was why I went back to school to study for MBA, to have an MBA in so, and I specialize in human resources management. Because an engineer, an effective engineer who wants to also manage a business, require human beings. And not only human being, you need to know how to manage your finance. You also need to know how to manage the marketing management aspect of it. You also need to manage equipment, materials, and so on and so forth. For effective management of all these components, that's why I went back to school, and I ensured that I grabbed what I needed and eventually specialized in managing human resources. Thank you.
0803 The question for the day once again is, which of the human body systems is known as the cardiovascular system? Hello, good evening. Good evening. Ogunwobi Darasibi, you're welcome. Is what? Okay, that has been noted. Then, do you have any question for our guest before I let you go? Okay, please go ahead. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. Do you have any other question again? Okay, thank you sincerely. We appreciate.
Yes, I've answered her, motor card, and anything that has to do with electricity. Yeah, that's why you see, you call them, those people who are doing it outside, you call them auto electricians. So it is still auto, it's still electricity. They are part of it. You can learn them, you can incorporate them.
Okay, 0803 Engineer Adegboye, what in your opinion can hinder the success of an engineer?
Yeah, the first thing I would say, for an engineer to practice and practice successfully, It needs to pay attention to standards. Every practice has its own standards, and when you don't follow, you fail. And you need to pay attention to an engineer who doesn't pay attention to details cannot be successful. You miss out important things. And you also need to go beyond just the technical aspect of it and learn a little bit of managing people. You understand? Because we need people in the engineering cadre. We have the engineer there, we have the technologist, we have the technician, and we have the craftsman. You understand? And
Yes.
you need to know how to manage all these people. Otherwise, if any of them in the ladder fail, it will affect you.
Then talking about these details, the details that you're referring to, especially in this engineering field, do we
Yeah.
have details that relates to business administration, maybe public speaking or engineering? Details, can you just
I'm
explain?
actually talking of details in your designs. You have to really go into you have to look at details in your design. Don't just flip through and say okay, no. And then in your deployment too, you need to be concerned, you need to be involved. You need to they want to mix maybe concrete. You need to understand if it's whatever ratio. You need to understand ratio 1:4. You need to know and ensure that those details are adhered to. Otherwise, in the long run, in the short run, yeah, you may see results, but in the long run, there will be failure somewhere because those details were not monitored.
0803-437-9453. You just tuned in. The program is Engineering and You on your Supernow station, OGBC 90.5 FM. Our guest on this edition of the program is Engineer Felix Adegboye, MNSE, FNIEEE, FINC. Engineer Adegboye, easy is it for an engineer to be self-employed in the global market? Despite the situation of our country, even all over the world, how easy is it for an engineer?
There's job everywhere for an engineer. Uh, in a society, it's there is nowhere you go to talk about any industry. In the factories, there are jobs there. You want to work as a self-employed, even as an electrical engineer. There's nobody that wants who will not want to put electricity there. You understand?
Yes.
And you look at the studio here now. You need engineers to run it. Aside the studio, you were talking about motor vehicles. You need engineer to run it, to service it, to work on it, because most of the modern vehicles are electronic driven. You understand?
Yes.
So you need the service of an engineer. And security wise, you look at in our society today, we need use of you need to deploy things like CCTV camera, surveillance camera everywhere. You know, there are people you have to do this. Street lightings are there, and just come into the building alone, the air conditioning everywhere. You are job every day for an engineer to do.
Okay, now talking about electronics and electrical engineering, does it have to do with wiring and all sorts alone, or are there other fields of engineering that are under electrical and electronics engineering? And what are those things that the young school leaver can stand to benefit, not only from wiring alone, but some other areas that are connected?
In electrical and electronic engineering,
Yes.
there are majorly two categories. We have the light current option and the heavy current option. Those working in the power section, like driving machines and equipment, and we have the infrastructure that I'm talking of, the what we call NEPA today. Those that service your house, those ones are high currents and the high voltage that can shock people and kill them. But we have the light current option. That's electronics, the computer systems, all those and the modern technologies that they are light current things. You understand me? So the there's so many things we talk about today, the machine learning, deep learning, and all those data sciences and here and there. So they are still integral part of electronics engineering. And then we have the radio equipment here that people are using and so on and so forth. Even the telephone, the communication gadgets, they make use of light currents. You understand? So
Talking about solar energy as well, does it have anything to do with an electrical or electronics engineer?
here, because you gather the sun is photovoltaic energy. You gather the sun is converted into electricity. I get that's the simple truth. The panel there, you understand, is converting the sun energy into electricity. That's simple. That's all. That's the solar. That's the basic logic about the solar something. And then you want to make use of it. Then the electrical electricity is DC direct current gets to what we call an inverter that changes now to alternating current that we make use of in our house.
If you just tuned in, the program is Engineering and You on OGBC 90.5 FM. Our guest is Engineer Felix Adegboye. You can call 0803 437 9453. Do you have any contribution? Do you have any question? Do you have any suggestion about what we're discussing today on Engineering and You? You can call 0803 437 9453. And as regards young school leavers, secondary school students, you can also be okay. Hello, good evening. Hello, good evening. Yes, your name and your location, please. Oloyede Emmanuel. Please go ahead. Okay. Thank you very much, Mr. Oloyede. I guess you're an engineer. I I thought as much. Thank you sincerely. We wish you all the best, sir. Thank you very much. We appreciate it. Do you have any reaction? Okay, because I was talking about the energy and power that they drive the economy.
I appreciate what you have said.
Okay, for the secondary school students as well as prospective admission seekers, you can equally be part of the program. You can ask questions, you can equally answer the question for the day. The question for the day is, which of the human body systems is also known as cardiovascular system? Which of the human body systems is also known as cardiovascular system? You can call 0803 437 9453 and you stand to win a physics or chemistry textbook. Definitely, we give it out as long as you get it right. And we equally encourage you to ask questions from our guests. Do you have any question bothering you? Do you have anything that you have to say? Do you have any contribution as well? People can also be part of the program. Now, Engineer Felix, you're an electronics and electrical engineer. How do you motivate a young fellow to choose a career in your field?
Yeah, well, maybe I'll start by saying that right from the secondary school, you need to pay attention to physics and chemistry and mathematics. They are not difficult subjects, as people tend to believe. Why I say so is that when you're writing history, you cannot determine what score you're going to make. But when you write mathematics, you can right there you can determine what score you're going to make because it is either 1 or 0. It's not just to get the answer. For every step you take, there's a mark for
It
it.
attracts
So
mark.
it attracts mark. And by the time lecturer know I got this thing right. But for history, it's subjective. Other subject literature is subjective. For this one is not subjective, there is a direct. So for physics, for chemistry, for biology, for mathematics, they are very easy. And so they start from there. That's the first thing to do. I want to encourage them that these subjects are easy to pass. They are easier than history. They are easier than, I want to say easier than English to pass. Yeah. So once you're able to do that and you pass it in your jump and your post jump or whatever they do, you get started and go as long as you attend your class and you follow the lecturer, you will come out. And then you also need to develop personal interest. Personal interest. Like you see some children right from they are young, you begin to play with wire, begin to play with the toys and dismantle
Or
toys
just
and
get a screwdriver.
and screwdrivers. These are part of it. These are part of it. So when I finished my secondary school and for one reason or the other, I had to go into Wapco training school, and that's where I was introduced into electrical engineering. I would do rock plugging. I developed interest in them. So when I wanted to go to higher institution, even though engineering was not part of my vision from the beginning, I wanted to be a business administrator, businessman. You understand? So I picked up the interest there. I love it. And that's why till today, I love working on cable. I just enjoy, and I still believe, and I believe there's no problem you bring as long as it is cable work.
They cannot solve.
By the grace of God, we will solve because it's simple logic, simple analysis,
Paying attention
paying
to details.
attention to details, and you will get it. So I want to enjoy younger ones. Aside that, you can't be hungry.
Being an engineer.
Be an engineer.
Okay.
You can't be hungry. You will get something to do.
I guess we'll have a call. Hello, good evening. Good evening. Hello, good evening. Yes, I'm with you. You're welcome again.
Yeah. Thank you very much.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Interest. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you very Yeah. Yeah. Thank you very much.
Thank you sincerely.
Just like you said, mathematics is a language of engineers.
Yes, exactly.
That's the language of engineers.
You were talking about how to motivate a young school. You were about to round up on that, on how to motivate a young fellow to chase a career in your field.
Yes, I was trying to say, if you study engineering and you've come out, you can never be hungry. Either you are in the industry, you get a job in the industry. If you don't get a job outside there are jobs for you everywhere. All you need is just to humble yourself. For instance, I have somebody from the Federal Polytechnic here, Ilaro. He studied mechanical engineering. He graduated, he couldn't get a job. You know what he's doing now? Building services.
Wow.
Yeah. Building services. He will get a job, we design a building and then get places to supervise, and he's living fine. There must be a job for you to do.
Okay, now, Engineer Adegboye, what is the difference between, because when we visit any of these sites, we observe that even anybody you see that is handling one area or the other, you call them engineers. what is the difference between the electrical and electronics engineer and an electrician?
Thank you very much. Is the training. An engineer makes use of sciences. That's why they know why. Okay, why are we using this microphone now? An engineer knows why it must be this microphone and not that microphone. You understand now?
Yes.
Like I was saying, an engineer will come in here now. You say AC. You need an AC in this place. A technician will just okay, go and buy Samsung. Go and buy LG. Go and buy 3 horsepower. Go and buy two. He doesn't know why it must be 3 horsepower. He doesn't know why it must be 2 horsepower. You understand?
Yes.
But an engineer will consider the weather, the environment here. He will consider the size of the room. He will consider the number of people that are going to be in this room. He will ask for the type of equipment you are going to install and the kind of heat they will generate before he decides on the size of the AC you are going to put here. You understand me now? So he will just, well, by the time he does all his mathematics and comes up with a design, you say, this is the type of thing, and this is the place you must put it. The technician outside there does not know. He will say, okay, from experience, once you have this, okay, go and put 2 horsepower.
We've done this in so house before.
There was a time in my church. I pastor a church. I'm a pastor in the church, and I have this big 5 horsepower to a ACs. I wanted to put on the platform on the altar, and then they got somebody who is a technician to wire the place. The guy went to buy 2.5 mm cable and install for each of the cable, and then not only that, and join everything in the ceiling, and then use 2.5 mm to bring it down to 30 amps breaker.
How many?
Whereas it's supposed to be not many for that size. Is about 6 mm cable. You understand me now? He used 2.5.
2.5.
Then each of them must go into the breaker not less than 30 amps breaker. And you understand? So if it will work at that moment, but I give you 3 months, that house can burn off.
The wires will definitely melt.
Exactly. Thank you very much.
Okay. Now, graduates who are posting home on this edition of the program, what is that particular thing in your life that can attract an admission seeker to choose engineering as a course of study? Then you can just add it with your parting shot on the program.
Like I mentioned to you earlier, since I graduated, I've not been hungry. There's always something that to do to bring more, to fetch money. Not only that, when I was in my former employment before I left, I happened to be the first Black Nigerian to successfully wholly deploy an optic fiber backbone cable for Globalcom.
Wow.
Before me, it was always been Indian and Chinese. It was after then the management of Globalcom said, so Nigerians can do this. Then after that, they started giving it to Nigeria. I was working for Tenant Nigeria Limited that time. So I deployed Owerri to Nisha to Oka to Enugu, whatever optic fiber, and then to and so on and so forth. So I said that since I left also, there has always been something for me to do. I've never been poor by the grace of God.
Your party shot of the program.
And my party shots, engineering drives the society. No engineer, no society. No pilot without an engineer, no doctor without an engineer, no broadcaster without an engineer. So if there's something we must pay attention to, it's an engineer.
We must pay attention to the details according to our guest on this edition of the program. Thank you sincerely, Engineer Felix Adegboye, and we wish you all the best in all your undertakings.
Thank you very much.
Thank you sincerely. That is how far we'll be able to go on this week's edition of Engineering and You. But before I go, the winner of the question for the day is Ogunwobi Derasimi, and you can call the producer on 0706 378 2632. Once again, 0706 378 2632. Congratulations to Ogunwobi Derasimi, and you can come to the studio tomorrow around 1 o'clock. 1 o'clock, call the producer and definitely you get your gift. Sincere appreciation to the sponsor of this program, Engineer Mrs. Funmilayo Waheed Adekojo, FNSE, and the program Engineering and Use powered by the Nigerian Society of Engineers, NSE Abeokuta branch. Sincere appreciation to Titi Lajo, Jemi Serikudi, as well as Francis Enriosho. The producer always is Abiodun Adelodun, and the executive producer is Toyin Shugbeson. My name is Temitope Babalola. Please do enjoy the rest of the Monday and join us at 6 next week Monday.
tiwa ní kókó tí mò ń bẹ̀ fún ó pọ̀ àbí táìmì